Hey everyone, well here I am at Memorial Park. I'm gonna find myself a place to sit down and talk to you about Fantastic Fridays. I absolutely love Memorial Park. It's such a beautiful, beautiful park right here in the middle of the city. You know, it's the Houston version of Central Park. It doesn't have a zoo inside of it or anything, but it sure is nice, and it's one of the things I love about Houston is people like to go outdoors and they like to have fun and exercise. There's a golf course in the middle of this park and places you can have lunch and lots of walking trails, and I just love it here. And I'm on the side of the park where there's lots of picnic tables. And so we're gonna find a place to sit down here and have a little chat. Isn't it beautiful? I just love it here. It's one of the things about Houston is it's very, very, very green. Hey everyone, remember, no matter what life throws at me, I have the ability to make this a fantastic day. And on today's Fantastic Fridays, I wanted to talk to you about the next thing on my list of the 5 things I like to remember every single day. You cannot make a mistake. You just can't. It's literally impossible to make a mistake. And you know, I grew up in a household where everything was black and white. I mean, everything was either you did it right or you did it wrong. And if you did it wrong, you got punished. I mean, it was a strict household. And as I've contemplated this, you cannot make a mistake. You know, at first, I had a little trouble reconciling this in my thoughts because of how I was brought up. But, you know, when I think about my parents or I think about my parents' parents, I like to give them a break. You know, I like to give them some breathing room in my mind and in my heart, because I fully believe everybody does the best they can given the information they have. And you know, they did the best they could given their situation. And the best they could given their situation was things were right and wrong, black and white. You could make mistakes. But what I've realized as I contemplate the things we've been talking about on Fantastic Fridays is that harsh, rigid view of the world doesn't harmonize with what I understand the universe to be about. I feel nothing around us is unchangeable. You know, plants grow and flowers bloom and animals evolve. How then could life be so unflexible? So I know now that if I just follow what we've been talking about on these Fantastic Fridays, if I love everyone and everything, if I'm fiercely true to myself, if I follow the rules and be obedient, if I just have fun every day throughout the day, then I can't make a mistake inside that framework. It's absolutely impossible. And I can see now that I've matured a little bit, that a lot of these household rules where everything's black and white and everything's rigid and right and wrong, a lot of that's based on fear. You know, fear of your kids embarrassing you in public, or turning out wrong, or going in the wrong profession, or falling in love with the wrong person. I mean, that's all fear-based. And telling kids and our peers that they're wrong because their life is going a direction we don't agree with, that's all based in fear. But I'm realizing now that fear and love can't be in the same room. I mean, if you love everyone and everything, how can you fear the outcome? But you know, even now I can hear my mom or my dad or a teacher, you know, I can hear it up in my head when I'm doing something, my mom whispering, not like that. And I realize now that none of that judgment has ever led to a healthy or happy outcome for me. What has led to my truest happiness is when I've been fiercely true to myself, when I've done things the way I feel and I believe are correct for me. And what goes along with that is to not judge or think that other people are doing it wrong either. They're doing what they think is right based on their own belief system. And what has helped me the most as I've longed to overcome that fear-based rule system that was put in place as a kid, is that I've learned to forgive myself. You know, in my past might be all up in my head, having some snarky party at my expense, telling me I'm doing it wrong as I go about my day. But in those moments of feeling like, well, oh, maybe I should do it differently, I have the power to forgive myself and forgive whoever told me those things in the past and decide to have a different outcome. One of the little tricks I learned for letting go of those little memories and judgmental thoughts that pop up in my head is I imagine the memory or the idea or the person in a little bubble. I just picture it in my thoughts, and I let that little bubble float in front of me, and then I pop the bubble. I just pop it, and I say, thank you, be free. And I let go of it. I just pop the bubble. And then after I pop that bubble, I remind myself that I'm a pretty cool dude, and I'm doing pretty darn well, and I'm pretty proud of myself for how I love everyone and everything. I'm true to myself. I follow the rules, and I try to have fun in every single situation. Pop. And that is enough. I don't have to do anything else. And you know, now I know I can't make a mistake. I just can't make a mistake as I follow these things that we've been talking about in Fantastic Fridays. If I use these things as a framework for my day-to-day life, I can't make a mistake, and that takes a lot of pressure off my day-to-day activities. So here's my challenge for you. If you find yourself judging yourself or feeling like you're not being good enough, just give yourself a break. Forgive yourself and try to picture those thoughts in a bubble and pop that bubble and say, no, I don't want to remember that anymore, and tell yourself a new story and remind yourself that you cannot make a mistake. If you're enjoying this series of Fantastic Fridays, go ahead and click that little YouTube card up in the corner there and watch the rest of the playlist. And say it with me, everyone. No matter what life throws at me, I have the ability to make this fantastic day. All right, we'll see you next time. Pop.